So your journey is complete. You have reached your fourth class. You have reached the pinnacle of your power. You're as strong as you can be, like a rock. You are the Mystic Queen. Let's see just how powerful you really are. So again, 4 tiers of classes in the game. You start off as tier 1. This would be Angela the Magician. Level 18, you have the option of changing your class. Again, you have the light path or the dark path. We stood in the light. Tier 3 class, that's at level 38. Again, you have the choice of going either light or dark. This time, the darkness called and we answered. We went with the Archmage. And this is why these abilities here will be different. Your 4th tier class is just one final singular class, and how good that class will be will ultimately depend on the choices that you made for your 3rd tier class. So again, Desperation, and we have Dancing Wand. We do not have the OP Tornado, but well, we'll see how things ended up. Alright, new class, new goodies. Let's see what we got. Elemental Master. Deal damage regardless of elemental resistances. So what this does is it removes one of the 4 things that will happen when you cast a magic spell. So the first thing that'll happen will be neutral damage. Nothing's going to pop up. It'll be just like how it is when you slap an enemy with your stick. The second one would be resist. They will resist the damage, so you cast fire on them, they're going to take reduced damage because they resist it, obviously. The third one would be weakness, so an ice creature obviously is going to get their day ruined by fire, and so you'll do more damage. And the fourth and final one would be absorption. The enemy just flat out absorbs the elements that you're using against them. So what this will do, it will remove resistance from that pool. So you're only going to have 3 outcomes now. Keep in mind that this does not work with absorption, so if an enemy absorbs fireballs, they're still going to absorb fireballs. It just removes elemental resistances. So it's quite nice. Again, we're, both of the light paths have non-elemental spells, and endgame, technically we're not in endgame anymore, we're in postgame, but postgame we're going to be using Lucent Beam, so it's really not, it would have been nice if it was on the 3rd class passive, but, it's something. Blessed Pledge, this is a single AoE strike type damage thing. It's the same deal for every tier 4 class strike. Lots of flashy lights and explosions. This one's quite good. Has a decent AoE on it. So her go-to class strike would probably be this one. Maybe Love Typhoon. This is probably her best though, I'd say. Again, you don't get any more CS bars. You just get a new class strike, so this one will take everything. It's 4 bars each time. Alright, let's move on to the costume. This, of course, is her Radiant White. This is the wedding dress, white, right out of your wet dream. So it's nice, I suppose. Again, you always have the option of going back to your other costumes. So if you do not like her on your wedding day, you can always switch to one of these. Alrighty, let's move on. So, abilities. The Archmage and the Grand Diviner are quite similar. So, their 4th and final iterations, with their 4th class, they're going to be similar. The only difference, you know, really will be Judge and the non-elemental spell. So let's see what we got. Again, it's 2 through 6. These three abilities, moves here, correlate to your first class. So 2 through 6 would be the Magician, 9 through 15. This would be the Sorceress, and 21 through 33 would be the Archmage. So Archmage got the better passive. Divine, Grand Diviner got Tough. We don't need Tough, we need Judge. We must judge the boss and sentence him to death. These are much better. And lo and behold, we get the second Judge ability, so we complete the set. Massive damage to bosses. So we're gonna bump this up to 53. That's all we really need to take here. Stamina, of course, don't go into it. It's not worth any of the point investments. You're not going to use them on your bar. However, I will go over the ones that we get. Spell Guard, defense and magic defense increase by 40% when casting. This would have been amazing had we got this much earlier. I mean, you know, of course we have the cast resist, but you know, this would have been really useful to actually get the 4th class. But now that we have the 4th class, we really don't need these anymore. It's kind of unfortunate. We also complete the set of cast resist. You know, this isn't a chain skill. You're not going to use it, so you're probably just going to leave it at 21. Intelligence. This is where all the magic happens. Glitter Dust, as you know, is a more powerful than the Doppelganger. However, its AoE is much smaller, but this does hit multiple times, and it stays on the screen for quite a while, allowing you to spike damage with Lucent Beam and Glitter Dust. Again, lots of hits, which means lots of crits, and so this is the main difference between the two classes. Of course, we get Limit Break 3. So we are missing Limit Break 2. Instead, we went and got Elemental Combo. But, you know, the Archmage gets Judge to kind of make up for that. So Grand Diviner gets the complete set of the Limit Breaks. We don't, but we get double Judge. So it's, you know, sort of evens out, I suppose. So you want to max this, and this is a nice damage increase here. We're going to get 4 big ones. It is Judge 2, Limit Break 3, and we'll see in a bit. So same thing with Spirit. You really only want to get it up to 21. I mean, you could do 43, but you're really only going to be using 2 spells, namely Lucent Beam. This is a 10 out of 10 spell in the post game. This is the MVP spell of post game. Quite good, and that's all you need. Again, these are the only 2 spells that she's going to be casting. Glitter Dust to kill them with style, and Lucent Beam to punish them. You know, you really don't need to go any higher. Alright, so now let's look at the last 2 big abilities that just skyrocket her damage and make her break the game. First one would be Pinpoint, increase critical hit chance by 40%, and critical hit damage increased by 40%. So crit damage up, so crit chance up, crit damage up. So these 2 skills right here just turn her into an absolute monster. You know, again, she started off as the wimpy little magician, just had terrible spells, you know, didn't really have, you know, anything for, she really didn't have anything, you know, any spells. It was just, you know, it was really tough for her, but now she can look back and say, you know what, it was worth it. So the worst thing we want to do is put on our Judge 1 and 2. This is just massive, crazy damage. The second thing that we want to do is put on limit break, if I can find it. Should be around here somewhere. There we are, limit break. We're going to do limit break 2. We're going to put on both of the pinpoints for incredibly high crit chance, and we're going to do crit damage. And that's pretty much all you need. This is the loadout for her. You can do whatever you want with the last one. Obviously, you can put on some of the OP spells or skills. You know, you can do Obsidian Power, but then again, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to try to keep it to what she gets. Moveset-wise, she doesn't get anything. Her moveset is complete with the 3rd class change. All you get is another class passive and your final CS strike. Alright, so let's head down here and beat up on our favorite blue buddies. First thing, you're just going to want to put on the 2 spells that you will be using. They will be Lucent Beam and Glitter Dust. You will be throwing a lot of, you know, spells, so it's, you know, you could maybe do Walnuts, but, you know, the Light Path is the quality of life MP class. You're going to get 40% MP when HP gets low. You know, you're going to get extra damage for MP being high, so, I mean, again, you could just drop some nuts on her, and, you know, let's just do that. There we are. Alright, so let's start it off with the class strike. How dare you skip my wedding? So. Alright. I'm actually kind of shocked that didn't actually kill them both. It's interesting. Let's see if it's going to hit both of them. There we are. Yeah, so that was weird, but it does have an AoE on it, so this is probably the one that you want to use. Again, you can also opt for the Love Typhoon. So, it's choice is yours. Again, she's just doing massive amounts of damage. She just got a really big power increase with the Judge, the Limit Break, and pinpoint critical damage. So let's just drop some spells here. So he's dead. Look at that. It's just ridiculous. The difference between the Grand Diviner and the Archmage is the non-elemental spell is going to have a larger AoE, but you know, it's so this is Angela. She breaks the game now. The Light Path is very good. It's very competitive with the Dark Path. So she's quite unique in taking that. You know, it's, I mean, in general, you know, like Dark Hawk and Dark Duran, they're going to be different than Light Duran and Light Hawk, but Angela, her Light and her Dark paths are really close. All of her classes are close, really. So there's really not much to say. She just does massive damage now. The abilities is what's making her do all these damage. I mean, the spells are good. They have a good AoE on them, but I mean, it's these 4 right here: crit damage, the extra crit, the extra magic, and Judge too. And of course, we're not fighting a boss. I would have to port out and show you the spoiler endgame dungeon, and I would have to bully that boss. But I mean, we're not even seeing the effects of Judge here. But she just does just insane amount of damage, you know. But it was worth it starting out. as magician, and now you are the mystic queen empress. Alright, there's really not much to say, so I'm gonna cut it here. I'll see you guys again. Take care now.